Today we'll be making goulash or stuffed phyllo dough. Please subscribe for more videos. Here we have onion and butter in a pan. When your onion is this color, that's when you add the ground beef. I am actually making a lot of ground beef because I'm making stuffed grape leaves and stuffed phyllo dough. I added the ground beef and now I'm gonna try to bring the onion on top so it does not burn. I'm gonna add black pepper. If you notice, I sprinkled some on top too. Ground beef loves black pepper, so make sure you put a lot. Now that our meat is almost done, I'm gonna add some salt. Here we have the phyllo dough, the tray, the meat, and oil and butter mixed. I want to show you this phyllo dough. You can find it at Wegmans. It's cut out for pastries, so it's actually a smaller sheet, so you don't have to cut it around in your tray or anything. It's so easy to use. Perfect for pastries, but also good for food as well. Right now I'm gonna butter my pan. You don't have to butter every layer. You can butter every other layer. I'm gonna put another layer this way. Butter this layer. It doesn't have to be perfect. It will all come together at the end. Perfect. I think I'm gonna do one layer and then I'm gonna put the meat on. Now I'm gonna put a thin layer of meat because I like to double layer my meat. So we're gonna do a thin layer and then go back to the phyllo dough, then another thin layer. And this is what I mean by a very thin layer, because we're gonna have another layer, and after a few sheets of phyllo dough, we're gonna put another layer of meat. So now we're gonna cover the meat with phyllo dough like this. And you do the same thing. This is a pretty heavy meal, by the way. Okay, so I covered the meat with phyllo dough again, and then I'm gonna put another thin layer of meat now, and then we're gonna cover it up with phyllo dough, and then we're done. Okay, here's the other thin layer of meat, and we're gonna cover it up with phyllo dough, final layers, and then we're done. here is my final layer. And the final layer does not get buttered. But if you will put it in the oven, like this can be frozen for up to a month in your freezer. Nothing will happen to it. And you can just pull it out before you want to cook it and butter the top and just put it in the oven. But for me, I'm gonna put it in the oven now so I don't have to, and you could put it in the fridge for next day. So you can make this a day before as well. I'm gonna actually cook it now. I'm gonna put it in the oven. When it's halfway cooked, I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna mix in a cup egg, milk, and broth. Beat it, add black pepper to it, and pour it on top of my tray, and then put it back in the oven to cook. And now I'm gonna cut it before I place it in the oven. I have the oven on 375 getting preheated. And we're doing this step because when you pour the liquid over, you want it to get all the way to the bottom and through the layers, not just on top. Sorry about the noise. I'll cut the rest of this and come back. Okay, it's all ready. I'm gonna put it in the oven. In a big mug, I have an egg with pepper, and I'm gonna beat it. And then I'm gonna add half the mug milk and half beef broth. Here I'm adding my half a cup of milk. And the rest will be beef broth. And here I added the broth, and let me show you what the broth looks like. I made this a video. If you didn't see it, go watch it. This is what it looks like. And now we're gonna dump this all over here. Just enough to like not cover it, but like, I don't know if you can see the white marks. Let me get close. I'm gonna place it back in the oven, and when it's done, I'll show you how it looks like. It was in the oven for about 20 minutes before I pulled it out. And this is what my goulash looks like. Looks delicious. Oh my god. And this is after I let it sit for 5 minutes.